Welcome to the Chromaniacs, Baja Cup Champions Edition. Whoa. I'm Craig Elston, joined live at Snapdragon Stadium by Tony Sanchez, Alex Pena joining from Casa de Pena. Tony, what's going on there, man? 29,000 in the house tonight for a 4-2 SDFC comeback win over the Cholos Quintles.
Call it an exhibition, a cross-border game, the Casino Cup. It was a fun night here at Snapdragon Stadium. Some players that needed some minutes for San Diego FC, some players that are mystery players, big old guest players on them. We'll talk about them here. What Mike Ibarra said about it post-match. Currently, Chivas is doing the mix zone. Probably talking to Joe Corona and Duran Ferri. Last time those two were here, they're playing against Borussia Dortmund, but now they're playing against each other in the Baja Cup. So it's really fun to do that. Alex, I know you took this game in with the broadcast, the only available broadcast.
Yeah, listening at home on the radio broadcast and live right now from my kitchen table. So it was great to hear Darren and Adrian, and it was a little different experience without the visuals of it all.
Well, I was there in the supporters section, so we've got a lot of different perspectives of this one, but overall, a really fun and really successful night for San Diego FC and for La Frontera, just for cross-border football and community and the opportunity to enjoy the beautiful game and do so on both sides of the border. Of course, the match that mattered to MLS didn't go SDFC's way on Saturday night, a 3-1 loss to the Loons. We'll talk a lot more about that on Thursday's main show for Chromaniacs. This is going to be a Baja Cup wrap-up here, and as we talked about on the previous Thursday night show, I shall reassert to you now that it's all done. While for some reason Leagues Cup didn't exactly lock in for me, this matters to me as a San Diegan who is a football fan. That you have SDFC, you have Club Tijuana, you have Croman Azul, you have Cholos Quintles, and you have the opportunity to see these clubs on the same pitch together. And soon, hopefully, I know it's a 5-year deal. I'd love to see it at Estadio Caliente as well as at Snapdragon Stadium. But for a match on a Tuesday night at 7 that doesn't matter to either club in any formative way other than this, the creation of community, almost 30,000 fans, and it was legit, folks. I'll tell you that. Being there, I have a personal way that I do this, which is I look at the top corners. I say, if you've sold those tickets up there, that means the rest of them that look filled in are filled in. And it was true. They almost went to 30K for this particular Baja Cup. Don't call it an exhibition. Call it a Baja Cup match. And call it a trophy. They had a trophy lift. We've had a trophy lift in year 1 for San Diego FC. This is the first. May it not be the last.
Yeah, go for it, Tony.
I mean, it was a party and it meant something. And obviously, it's not just a game for the sake of playing, a game for the sake of building a relationship with a club that's across the border, but a real chance and opportunity to see some of these players that maybe haven't gotten some minutes and really see what layers and different aspects they have to show for the game. Interesting that you mentioned, Craig, actually, Sebastián El Loco Abreu, a legendary player from Uruguay, who probably scored the most ballsy game penalty in the 2010 Ghana World Cup. It was a Panenka in that penalty shootout, but he's the head coach of Cholos Quintles Tijuana, and that was a question and kind of a point of like, no, these Mexican teams hope and wish that this does travel over into Tijuana and that this is able to grow in that way, not just in Leagues Cup, but also in these types of environments, in these types of games, because at the end of the day, like, it's right there. And even Mikey agreed, like, yeah, you know what? It doesn't matter if it's here, if it's there. We'd love to go ahead and be a part of it. But a really special night here. Baja Cup champions, San Diego FC, and none other than one of the veterans of the squad that gets the honor of lifting it up, Emma Boateng, towards the end there. So a really cool night. And honestly, it was a pretty decent game. Not gonna lie, it was a pretty decent game.
And I think the moment that I liked the most was the substitution of Jesus Corona for his son, his 15-year-old son coming in in his place. I thought that was actually pretty cool, and I think if you make moments like that, it actually makes this Baja Cup pretty fun. So I really enjoyed that. I enjoyed listening to like the anytime a guest player would do something, Adrian would refer to them as GP 37 or GP 35 or whatever the number was, because we didn't know who they were. I hope Tony can fill us in and give us some info on these guys, because GP 37 sounded like a pretty good player.
Okay, we got, but even before we do anything else, let's do this, because if you were following, SDFC socials, if you saw the starting lineup graphic at right center back, there was kind of a Right to Dream logo, and it said guest player. And I had just gone to a Savannah Banana game, back a couple of weekends, and I'm like, is it going to be Sal Zizzo? Is it going to be Landon? Is it going to be Trevor Hoffman? Like, who's going to be the guest player? Who's going to come running out? I'm the guest player. No, Tony can tell us who it is, but I left, they're a guest player. Okay. Who are you? The mystery. It's exciting. And along the way, and I left just a few minutes early to make sure I'd get home in time for the show, because with 29,000 people there, trolley management becomes critical. But so I heard, Alex, the same thing as you. I kind of heard the very end of the broadcast with Adrian and Darren. He's like, GP 35, GP 37. And I'm like, wait a second. Do they not know the names of these guys? No, wait. They're not allowed. They're literally not allowed to say their names. Say my name. Say my name. No, you can't. You cannot. Score a goal. Doesn't matter. You're GP 37. Plug back into the Matrix when you're done. Thank you so much for being here. My goodness. Okay, Tony, are these humans?
Yes, in fact, these are humans. They are not droids. They are not just artifacts that were created for footballing purposes. These are indeed real players. And so, with the opening of the new Right to Dream Academy, I was like, wait. Are we going to start a 14-year-old here? Like, are we going to go ahead and not give Duran Ferry the start, but give one of these new academy kids? No. So as it turns out, and Mikey Varas in the post-match actually, I asked him, so what's up with these guest players? Like, so it's the benefits of having these sister clubs and sibling clubs. Two of the players, and I'm actually going to wait for the actual names here. Chiva took my roster with my notes that have the actual names. Mikey Varas also, Chiva. He actually also named some of them. Sadio is one of the names. There's two Danish players coming over from Right to Dream as well. But at the end of the day, like, these are players that are integrated into this bigger Right to Dream philosophy. So something that Mikey mentioned is that you can tell the identity of this club even when you don't know who's playing. When you literally have no idea who's playing, you can still tell that's SDFC out there. And you can very much tell because of one specific goal that they gave up early in the first half, which gave deja vu to a lot of players who were, to a lot of people who were watching the Minnesota game as well. Craig.
Yeah, 2 games in a row. 2 games in a row, the midfield chip. This one felt worse than the last one somehow. I don't know. It was just like, Cisniego, where were you, brother? Like, where are you? Yeah, that was So is that part of right to dream of midfield goals? We give
I mean,
some,
we
but
can.
yeah.
We have some rogue footage as well. Actually, I think I have some of the halftime highlights just outside of the stadium, but you can see right here, just yep,
Way off the line. Yeah.
off the line. That's Cholos Quintles goal, and so like that's what you risk with that play style. So it's very much something that's going to be part of the identity of San Diego FC, and it's just a matter of outscoring the opposition, which is exactly what they did, right? 4-2 score line. They go down. San Diego FC comes back and is able to really fight back and showcase some of the players that haven't been featured a long while. Looking specifically at the return of David Vasquez, who was also an injury, Harangi, who came off of the San Jose game with a shoulder injury as well. And then good to see Godoy getting the opportunity to captain some of the young kids and some of the players out here for this matchup. And on the other side, I mean, you mentioned, right, a really special moment with Joe Corona, Jesus Corona and his son, legendary goalkeeper, like one of prototypical Mexican goalkeeper right there. Had his son sub out, and there's cool things like that these games and these types of instances allow, and it's a confidence builder. Mikey Vara said that today was a confidence builder, and it's a matter of making San Diego FC and started to make San Diego FC more of a fortress. So there's a conceit that, like, yeah, there has been some games here at Snapdragon that should have been taken advantage as a home team, but they haven't. So let's go ahead and start building that, and why not start with a trophy lift here?
And you know what was like really good to see was like Alex Biden, get those minutes that he just hasn't been getting as of late, and he scored a goal, and that's really good. That's good for him and getting his confidence up, and hopefully that just continues on for Maiten, because he can move the ball. He could move the ball pretty well, on the front line, but sometimes he could get lost out there, and it was good to see him be out there with Baird, with Boateng. It was an interesting lineup to see out there, to start the starting 11, and very limited bench options too. That was the whole thing was very interesting to see for this friendly.
Which is great because you've got a huge match on the road against Atlanta United a little bit, later down the road on Saturday night that we'll talk more about on Thursday. But let's continue to talk about Vasquez, who tonight becomes, and we see the Alex Maiten goal. That was 1-0. That was a great goal. Lovely turn by Maiten. Exciting to see. He needs that. You never know when you might need him down the road. And to have a decent way to give him the ball, too. A good goal all the way around. But back to Vasquez, who was both the recipient of an incredible pass that he then showed class to finish, and then the creator of a great pass that Manadua had the opportunity to go up and head in and finish. Man of the match to me, Vasquez.
Yeah, easily the man of the match for this one. Yeah, slid in perfectly, got that goal in, and got the assist off the corner, and Manodua was right place, right time for that corner. So yeah, he's also a young guy too when it comes to this roster, and down the line, I just don't know how much more minutes he's going to be getting with Pellegrino in here. Barrett seems healthy. He seems like he can run, and he's mobile again. So hopefully, there will be some minutes for some more, so we can see David Vasquez some more. But it's going to be very limited as you have 4 more matches and playoff games to look forward to.
Yeah, it's really good to see some of these players that are getting to come back and regain this form, because you never know when you're going to go ahead and reach back in there. And there's one thing that really stuck out on our list here is that looking at the players that didn't start this game, that are listed not guest player, right? You have Duran Ferree, who gets the substitution at halftime. He gets some minutes in there. So third keeper, understandable. Then you have Manu Dua, who is, I think, the biggest piece between the reserve team and now the starting 11, and just somebody who can come in and really impact the main team and the main roster. So he's really cool to see that. He's the catalyst between those two sides right now. And you can tell that he's a level above what we saw here because he was able to be a disruptor in this short amount of time. Manu Dua is that player that is above, playing above his grade level, reading above his lexile. But then the only other players, Thomas Ankel. And that's a player where I'm just like, how come he didn't get a start? How come, you'd really like, yeah, he got minutes, but if you're trying to restart a number 9, somebody who needs that confidence boost, that's somebody who kind of stuck out, did get minutes, but at the end of the day, it's like, well, you're going to need Vasquez and those players to be ready in case a playoff situation arises, and you can call on somebody who has experience, who has more confidence, and is able to contribute positively.
I'm curious, and you've got the Varda sound. If he thought Angel had another good spacing game in he came into the second half. There were 3 goals scored. He didn't contribute directly, but maybe indirectly, with his work rate and whatnot, Alex.
Yeah, he's definitely on the bubble of, like, do you even list him on the roster on match day, or to potentially have him on the bench? Like, he really is on the bubble now. And yeah, I was surprised. I was surprised when I didn't see Angel starting at the 9 and Baird was there. I was like, oh, okay. Same with Vasquez. Very limited time. You kind of already know what Angel can do for you. You're still playing out and seeing what Baird and Pellegrino can do, and feeling those guys out. And yeah, I think he's going to be the odd man out when it comes to any match day decisions, when it comes to the match day roster. It's just tough. He hasn't been that big of a contributor this season, and yeah, it's tough for even on in a friendly, like just very limited minutes when he should have been starting.
Yeah, the numbers don't lie. And at this point, also, roster choices do not lie late in a season. This is a game of players who, other than Manu, aren't going to play pretty much on Saturday at Atlanta United. Within that, the club needed to see Corey Baird and what he can do more than Tomas Angel. They already know, and they don't particularly like what Tomas Angel can do. Now, they wouldn't say it that way, but the minutes distribution shows you they don't believe that he is going to be an effective part of the offense. And for a club that absolutely needs offense from the 9 if they're going to win MLS Cup, these decisions are intriguing. They're at least podcast level, quite interesting. And in this case, it was, hey, if we can't get Ingvartsen back, if we can't figure it out, I think it is kind of an interesting question. Does David Vasquez get a chance at 9? Or do you go to more of a veteran guy like a Baird and then take Vasquez off the bench and try and give him that Olaski super sub role?
Well, there's not a lot of time. There's not a lot of time to figure this out, right? Like, this is what's good about this match, right? You can be critical of it and say, hey, it's a marketing thing. It's this. They're going to make money. They're going to this. It's a chance to stretch some legs. But you have very limited opportunities so close to the playoffs to see some real-time minutes. And instruction from Mikey Vadas was actually very intentional and was specific with instruction for this game. Show us something. That was the instruction from Mikey Vadas. Individually, show us what you have. And that was the instruction. He was actually praising Duran Ferri as having a couple of those very strong saves and good showing out there. But, that's what he saw from Alex Payton. That's what he saw from a couple of other players. Show me something. And I think for those fringe players, it's that show me something that you maybe have seen in training but aren't able to apply in real game time situations. Give Mikey Vadas more of a question to have to answer when it comes to that moment. Who am I going to switch in? Have an embarrassment of riches and have a real situation and put it on the coach. Put it on the coach. That's what he gets paid to do. You're doing your part and you're showing out in these important games, making 29,000 plus happy. And overall, I think that's what's positive about this match, to see some of those players. I do have names for some of these guest players, if you're ready. I know people have been, chomping at the bit. You have number 35, Ruth Jair. That's Rutkjaer. There you go. Johannesson, that's number 34. Number 36 was Monsen, Monjen, Monjen. And then number 37, Savio. So those are the names you want. You wanted the names for the players? There you go. Go find out who they are. These Right to Dream affiliate. It was the International Academy. What was cited as these players?
I have a question. After watching some of these players, are they kind of, being considered to, after Mikey Virus has seen them, are they being kind of considered to come over to San Diego, potentially like in the future?
Yeah, and I think that's the key for some of these players, where this is that bridging aspect. And Right to Dream has so many modules to it, where there's set teams and set squads, different divisions, but they also feature this International Academy where it's almost like a travel team, right?
Mm-hmm.
They go over and are mercenaries through the Right to Dream system to be able to plug and play if they're ready maybe for that next step, whether that's with our FC Northland or now have a different outlet with San Diego FC. So, some questions were like, well, are we running out of players? What's going on? Are these trialists? Kind of, but it's like in-house trialists. And we can expect more of this moving forward for Right to Dream and San Diego FC.
Well, the exciting part about that is you don't have an MLS Next team yet. You have an academy that is at the bare minimum right now, just in its infancy, but you don't have nothing. You do have this network. You are part of something bigger. And because of that, on a night like this, sure, there's an international academy travel team that can drop off GP 37 and GP 34 and GP 35, and it can work out over the course of a night like this. But they're not high and dry. If they were truly just an expansion team, no academy, no network, I think guest player might have been Sal Zizzo. Guest player might have been, we had a tryout or a fun camp and so got a chance, and that's not what you want. What you want is what they've done. And it's pretty exciting.
Yeah, it is exciting. Yeah, I was with you, Craig, about the guest player. I thought it could have been Sal Zizzo. It could have been anybody. I didn't think for a second that it would be someone that would travel from Denmark or anywhere else in the world and come to San Diego to play in this friendly. I didn't know you could do that. So it's something to look out for in the future when we are playing the Club Americas and Club Tijuanas and every other friendly we're going to have in the future. That hey, potentially we're seeing a tryout for a player that may potentially play for San Diego FC in the future.
The cool thing about a game like this is that there's a lot of fans and there's a lot of people who maybe want to get that inside look and what does a training session look like. And this is as in between as a training session as you're kind of going to see, where even for Cholos Quintles, the side warm-ups are very academy based. there's a lot of teaching happening. There's a lot of aspects of like these are kids too for Cholos Queensland too. There's some of these players aren't in the first team roster. We saw, I believe, 216 score against SanDiego.FC. And so that's the fun aspect about this is that you also see just the fundamental how.
Oh. And Tony's frozen.
Hold for it. Wait for it. Could be coming back anytime. Happened to me the other day here at home. It's just like every once in a while it would randomly go up for 10 seconds.
And we lost.
They may have pulled the plug on the press club. They're like, by the way, we have our. Yep.
He's gone.
We've got our own curfew here, and it's 10:24. No, hey, welcome back, Tony.
And
We're back.
Joins us back. Yes.
Yeah, no. I don't know. It's literally media Wi-Fi, so I don't know. It's the flashing light. They're showing the light like at a comedy club.
Yeah.
But yeah, no. This is as a behind-the-scenes look as you're gonna get. Right, the experience for some of the players, the younger players, to be in the bright lights, be where the senior team plays, but also have a chance to really focus and be tactical and be fun about it. Right, Emma Boateng lifts the trophy. First person that comes up with the water bottle is Mikey Varas, squirting them and just having a good old time. Like that's the power of this game specifically. It's not just the game of winning a cup, winning a title, setting a tradition, but it's also the intangibles that start bringing this club together and having a chance to have almost like a team building exercise, but in soccer version.
No, I couldn't agree with that more, Tony. I listen, you got to crawl before you can walk. You got to walk before you can run. And lifting a trophy is something SanDiego.FC had never done in the club's history until tonight. They lifted a trophy. So if they get to lift another trophy, and the next one in line would be Supporters Shield, if they were so blessed and lucky, they've done it before. Now they know that feeling. And if you could get to MLS Cup and win that, they know that feeling of lifting something. So it sounds maybe trite on my part or, overly provincial to say that. Obviously, it's an exhibition match. I mean, I had a delightful time checking out the Xolos lineup, including one of their players in midfield, number 202, who I believe his name was Second Year Economics. I think that's pretty much that's the last time I saw 202.
I'm an idiot. I'm looking here like
looking for it.
That's not his name. Like, like I'm like, what? Jovan Gonzalez. Jovan Gonzalez. Or I like yours. I like that nickname better.
Second year econ, Jovan Gonzalez. That's where he stopped too. He didn't make it to the third year. He said that's enough. I'm going to take a different class. Yeah. So I mean, and the Xolos, they substituted freely as well. So I'm not making any value judgments out of this match. I just think it was an overall good time. This is one of those vibes immaculate nights. 29,000 in the house. There wasn't any, issue. There weren't any problems. There was no trouble. It was a late arriving crowd, but a crowd that filled in and stuck around, and an affirming night for SanDiego.FC. Nobody got hurt. They came from behind. They gave up one dumb goal. And they were able to wipe that out and get a great taste in their mouth. And those kids who probably will only play a few minutes the rest of the season are more battle tested in case somebody goes down. And even for an Emma Boateng to play a full 90, something he hasn't been asked to do all year. He showed that he could do that. Pilcher being in there showing, I can be a rock for you. I can be your steady Eddie back here. I'm not just a young guy anymore. I'm someone you can count on. And I think for guys like that, those are the guys that are on the call sheet every week, whether they're called upon or not. They are there. They're on the bench. They're available. So guys like that getting full burn, will they'll probably not play at all or just a little Saturday if needed, but that's important in case. So what a good time. Weirdly, what a good time to have the Baja Cup and to have this opportunity for these players to play the way they did.
Yeah, it seems like it was like good vibes all around. And yeah, like you said, Craig, good crowd, people enjoying themselves, and I think this is something that people always, when they talk about San Diego soccer and having a team here that could play against Club Tijuana. That was always on their minds. It's like, can we have some sort of cup, some sort of friendly, something that we can play and see like how we stack up, and something that both sides can enjoy. And you were there, Craig. How was the crowd? How was it like divided between the two teams? Was it like 50-50, 75-25? What do you think?
I'm going to just be perfectly honest. I'm in supporters, so it's 100-0 in my ears. You know what I mean? And with my energy, so I can't tell you. It seemed like the cheers for the SDFC goals were loud and boisterous. It didn't feel like Front Wave Arena did, on Sunday night, where it was definitely Mexico all the way. I think it would, Tony. I think you'd have a better perspective on this than me.
Yeah, no, it was. I'd say with the majority was San Diego FC, and I think Mike Barra says the video is finishing up here to upload. His perspective was 90-10, and I was like, all right, hold on. But it was a good turnout and a good showing also by Frontera and the Massacre, all the way in the tippity top section. You know what? As soon as they started, you can hear them, and there was 40 some of them, 50 of them, a couple of them. But tonight was all San Diego FC, and that's really cool to be able to see the traditions that are building up, whether it's the kickoff, SD, and just kind of going from that, and it's really started to come together and gel together, where the majority of the stadium does that kickoff chant, and at least for that split second, like you can tell, like, ooh, like it's everybody against the team, it's everybody against the opponents, it's everybody going into one single direction. So it was fun. I was walking around. Actually, the guest that I didn't think was going to be here was my mother. Like, out of nowhere, she's like, "Oh, are you here?" I'm like, "Yeah." She sent me a picture of her Pacifico, just chilling with a friend that got last minute tickets. I'm like, "Oh, okay," and just
brilliant.
Went over there and just it was excellent. But I did notice that the Xoloscuincle mascot was the one that was the keeper of the flow.
Yes.
How do you feel about that?
Yeah.
How did you feel about that? Like,
that was weird.
What was that
actually.
about? That's that a sacred? I don't know. What did you guys think about
I don't know about that one. It feels like, he's lifting the globe thing, and it feels like he's like saying like, hey, I dominated you, like I control you, or something like that.
Well, right.
I didn't like it.
Little doggy. So maybe it was a sign of training that SDFC had already brought the Xolo to heel. Xolo Mejor, in fact, was menor compared to us. So I don't know. That was the way. Honestly, I thought it was a little weird as a supporter, just seeing him walk out with the flow. I was like, oh, okay. And then also when the Xolo scored, they had him on the scoreboard. Like, they had a graphic for Xolo. So they almost kind of did it even in that way. They were like, this isn't a SDFC match. This is the Baja Cup. So both teams will be celebrated to some extent. And hey, you know what? If you want to do it that way, that's great. That's fine by me. Like, yeah, make it a little more serious. in that sense, even though there's guys running around with numbers 287 and 20. I think 287 was the highest I saw tonight. I was like, okay, 287. I wanted to raise from there. Can we get into the 300s? But no, the answer was 287. But with all of that, entertaining, solid, flowy match. So, Big Cholo didn't mess with the flow. The flow was there. And in the end, can you even say 3 points? You won the exhibition. No points were awarded.
Mm-hmm.
One trophy.
Yeah, one trophy. Mm-hmm. That makes sense.
So if you want to hear, I think you have Mikey Vadas here sound. I can go ahead and throw that and then go from there. Mikey Vadas postgame.
Let's do it. That's a good way to wrap things up. Let's hear from Mikey.
Questions in English, and then we'll transition to questions in Spanish. You can start here in the front row. We have a mic.
Thank you. Mikey, could you just take us through this game where you had mentioned that there was going to be a split between the squad that's coming into this weekend, but some of the players that we haven't seen much from SanDiego got some playing time as well. And as well, can you tell us what he does about some of these guest players as well?
Yeah, so we're pretty intentional with our weeks, and we knew that this week started with this kind of like bounce back mentality. We know we're going to go on the road. And then this game provided an additional opportunity to grow our squad, right? Make our squad bigger, and then also work towards that goal of making home a fortress. And so we put kind of had like a little bit of a split mission mentality in terms of we've had to separate the group just for a couple of days. And one group trained this morning, for example, and one group played. And I think it was a really, really great experience because the guys showed up. This is a culture here that whether it's five-a-side or it's a playoff match or it's a league match or it's a quote-unquote friendly, if we're going to lace up our boots, we're going to try to win. That's inside our DNA, and I think they did a great job of doing that. And what I told them was I think it was so amazing just to watch the team play because the spirit of the team is evident and clear no matter who's on the field. The names change, but SanDiego.FC doesn't change. And you see them playing really with a lot of initiative, a lot of courage. You see the team pressing. You see the team going down a goal, coming back, going down another moment, coming back, going for the win, winning 3-2, not being satisfied, going for the fourth goal. And those are things that I think are going to really set the foundation for the long term of the club. And then guest players are awesome. This is like, I think one of the most positive outcomes of this is a collaboration between the greater family that we are at Right to Dream, because it's not just SanDiego.FC that we represent. We represent all of Right to Dream, which is Right to Dream Ghana, Egypt, Denmark, and San Diego. And so you see Marcus Daniel and Rudy coming from Denmark, and Sadio is training with us from the IA. And I think it's really nice to be part of something much bigger, I think.
The IA meaning Right to Dreams International Academy.
International Academy, yeah.
We'll go right now.
Mikey, what can you tell us about Duran Ferry getting his first minutes with the club since his return from the loan with FC Northland?
Yeah, I think Duran, this was also an opportunity for individual players to kind of make a statement, and we made that pretty clear to them as well. The way that you make a statement is you play with high levels of intensity and quality that make the team better and give us a chance of winning. And I think Duran is one of the players that did well for himself, because he made a couple of big saves in my opinion. He was calm and collected in a couple of crossing situations, and then in the build-up, he showed that he has a really high level. And the only way to really find out, of course, training helps. But the only way to really find out is to play in front of 20,000+ people in a game that both teams want to win. He did really well.
Great spot to pull that, Tony, and maybe a great final discussion point. Duran Ferry is a kid we've talked about back to San Diego. Loyal Select, not loyal, Loyal Select. one of the last jerseys you could get at that yard sale that they did after the franchise closed down. And he has had a path, some USL championship opportunity, now a chance to go abroad, now a chance to finally be here in San Diego, and hopefully there's a future there. Sometimes that always an understudy thing can even set in at a young age, but he's very young and has that opportunity to step forward as years go forward. And I'm really excited to see it.
Yeah, same here. It's going to be interesting how they move forward with the goalkeeper position heading into next year, because they do have CJ Dos Santos locked up, and I believe Pablo Cisniega is only on a 1-year deal, so this could be Duran Fari's time to be the second choice keeper. It could be, or he could just stay on. They might bring in a veteran. They might just battle for the second choice keeper, or he could stay on as a third choice. But I think we'll have some more matches. Definitely more matches for him to be present for and be a part of. So I think his future with SDFC is probably going to be pretty clear heading into next year, that he's probably going to be part of this team. So yeah. Exciting.
He was already the backup for a game here where Pablo Cisniega was out and CJ came back. So, he was already, one injury away from jumping into the starting 11 for this club already. Actually, the second time Duran Fari plays at Snapdragon Stadium. First time being with his teammate that is now a opposing member of Joe Corona, who played with San Diego Loyal against Borussia Dortmund, same place here.
Yeah.
So he's a kid that has trajectory and talk about a story, right? Loyal Select, San Diego Loyal eventually, now going over into being this local product and carrying the baton of somebody who is honestly the first generation San Diego player, like Joe Corona, Alejandro Guido, those names that kind of are synonymous with this region in soccer. Like Duran Fari is going to be one of those. He's going to be a top goalkeeper. He's already a goalkeeper for the U.S. Men's young national team coming up too. Just very good talent. Hearing Mikey Varas on there as well. And some really good stuff on that. Also post-match, we'll post the full media availability post-match on SanDiego.Futbol, as well as Mix Zone. Chiva, who was Mix Zone? Pablo Cisniega and Alex Mighton on a Mix Zone.
Nice.
So we'll have that available here at SanDiego.Futbol.
Great stuff, guys. We're at almost the 45-minute mark here for Baja Cup. So let's just all remind ourselves that tomorrow when you wake up, you're waking up as the supporter of a Baja Cup champion. You did it. You made it. We made it. SDFC made it 4-2 over Xolos. My voice is barely here because I was in the North End tonight, so I did it right, apparently, along the way as well. We are going to be back on Thursday with our regular Chromaniacs program, in which we will look a little bit more back at Minnesota United and all those crazy saves. And Dane St. Clair, we've maybe got our first guy that we can put on the dartboard and throw darts at. Like, I hate Dane St. Clair. This guy sucks. But we'll also look ahead to Atlanta United and a match that is very important if SDFC wants to finish first in the West and wants to get another swing at Supporters Shield. Alex, final thoughts and promotion.
Hey, we're Baja Cup champions for 2025, so that's something to cheer about. Great match. I love that it's such a regional thing and cross-border thing, and yeah, just anything to promote soccer in the region. I'm all about. So great win, and I'll be enjoying my celebrating with the breakfast burrito tomorrow, as usual after a win. So, what about you, Tony?
Yeah, I mean, you can check out everything that we do here at SanDiego.Futbol at SanDiego.Futbol. Like I said, Alex Mighton, Pablo Cisniega coming up in the post-match mixer, as well as the full Mikey Varas post-match interview, as well as Loco Abreu in Spanish for you Spanish listeners as well here. SanDiego.Futbol, the place where the insiders listen. Literally, they're right there. Hi. Two balls and a mic on every Monday. Check out the Chromaniacs here. Craig, what do we have?
Well, that's just what I was going to say. Follow us on Instagram at the Chromaniacs. Please, if you're watching on YouTube and you haven't, hit that subscribe button, hit the like button on this video so more folks will see it tomorrow morning as well. We're small content creators, and every time that you do those little things that take you no time or effort, it does help us. It gives us an incremental gain along the way. So thanks to everyone. Thanks to Puma behind the scenes. Thanks to Chiva for wrangling the sound and loading up the video so that we could do that on the fly and bring it here to you. Look at these guys.
There he is.
And more. Mi hermano. For Alex Pena and Tony Sanchez, I'm Craig Elstenstein. Thanks to you for watching. We'll chat to you Thursday. Until then, vamos. A Cup champion.